Hi, this is Peyton with Girls Gone Right.
And today we are welcoming Jacob with Yakkem Apparel. So, Jacob, please. Oh, and by the way, I didn't say my name in case for our listeners. I'm Rachel. I'm the co-host of Girls Gone Right, and we've got Jacob here with us today. So, Jacob, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Jacob McQuarrie. I started Yakkem Apparel. It's a conservative activewear brand. I started it. I grew up in New Jersey, and I was a high school basketball player. So I started this brand because I was like, there's nothing out here in the market that really reflects who I am on the inside, my character, my morals, my faith. There wasn't really another brand like that. So I was like, all right, let me be an innovator here and let me create something myself. So I started really early on. And now, when I was 18, I probably came up with the idea. Now, fast forward 4 years later, I feel like I'm starting to get a little smarter, so I can really get the business mindset going, learn how to manufacture stuff, which has just been a headache altogether. But yeah, I started it early on when I was just a high school kid playing sports, and I wanted to make an alternative to what I believed in. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
That's incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
I did not realize that was wow. I didn't know that was the backstory, and you were that young.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I started out, I bought this, little heat press. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I can make my own clothes. I was like, that's crazy. I can put whatever I want on it. So I started doing that, but I would, copyright, Joel Embiid jerseys and stuff. And I wasn't really thinking. I was like, I can put the Sixers logo on this thing. And I was like, that's totally illegal now. I know that. But back then I was like, this is so cool, and I'd wear it. Actually, I don't even know if it is technically for an individual to make it for themselves, but I was like,
that is so cool.
So I just had fun with it. But then I was like, I could do something with this, something cool, So.
Yeah. So where does the name come from? How did you come up with the name for your brand?
So I started the brand with the focus of basketball from the beginning, because I was a basketball player. For the men's line, I was always like, this is always going to be basketball because that's all I really cared about. So Yakkem is, if you ever played NBA 2K, the basketball game, it's Shaq talks about it, and it's another word for a swoosh pretty much. It's the ball going through the net, but it's Yakkem, and he says it quick, and it's almost like a whipping effect of the net. Being a basketball player, I just loved that. So I went with that. And then also my teammates called me that. So I just kind of went with it. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I would have no idea what it was referenced to, because I also don't play.
And
that's cool. It's sort of reflected what you were doing at the time and what you're passionate about, but also it was a nickname for you. So it's kind of a two-way street to kind of put yourself in the brand without putting yourself in the brand. I think that's really
I think
that's creative
so too. I think people are like you guys said, it's what the heck does that even mean? And then it almost captures people's attention, if that makes sense. So it works. But
yeah,
that's
definitely
amazing.
So most people at the age of 18 are just scrolling on TikTok and have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
They don't want to even have a career or actually do anything. So that's incredible that at the age of 18 you had a vision for something. You just didn't know exactly what it would turn into, but you've continued it for years.
So when 2020 hit though, the whole brand changed, because I felt all the Lululemon stuff came out, all these different things that people really wanted on, the girls line especially was okay, I can fill that void because I know how to. So I kind of shifted the focus. I'm actually just got engaged a couple months ago. So yeah,
congratulations.
My fiance is a huge part of the women's line. So she helps come out with the new leggings and all these different things that she knows girls will like.
That's awesome.
So we've kind of went down the Gymshark Lululemon road, all with the girls line. But my plan is definitely to bring back the basketball side for the guys and stuff.
I already like your fiance just because I love the crossover leggings, and you can tell her that she did a phenomenal job. I think that they are way better than Lululemon. So I'm a big fan.
You've always supported us with those crossover leggings, especially when they're the whole mess up happened with the stupid line in the I was like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. And you're like, just, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. I was like, that is so sweet.
But also, like, I feel like businesses, like, especially small businesses starting out and, like, as you grow, like, if you face challenges and it's, like, growing pains, you know, like, it's a good thing because you're growing bigger, but on the same note, like, you're going to struggle with things. So what has been, like, one of your biggest struggles throughout, like, these past few years of starting a small business?
So, like, being a conservative brand, attracting conservatives is... Everybody wants everything made in the States, and it's extremely difficult to do that. Like, because I'm 22, and I don't have like $20,000 to just spend on like a new product. So if you've noticed, like we don't come out with a lot of stuff, or like as much as other brands. Like other brands are just kind of pumping new stuff out, but it's like, I really have to, with manufacturing, I really have to be like deliberate and know what's going to sell before I buy it. Because like, honestly, if you make something in the United States, it's like you're putting down at least $10,000 to like produce this garment. And then it's like, if it doesn't sell, you're out $10,000. So that's like the freakiest part with our job.
Did you know that before starting this business model, being conservative, making American-made clothes? Did you know that it was going to be like such like a hefty investment? And
not at all.
cost?
I knew. So the problem, to go really deep, so you guys probably don't even need to know this information, but like when you go to a manufacturer, it's like the minimum order quantity. So you have to buy like 300 to like 500 plus of whatever you're buying to even land the sale. So like you're not going to be able to buy it unless you buy 300 or more. And then it's more expensive because it's made in the US, so it's like $40 instead of like $10 if you went overseas with it. So you're looking at like 300 times 40 or whatever. And a lot of times when we would run the numbers, it'd be like, I don't know, 20,000 to come out with like one color hoodie and sweatpants. And you're like, how am I even supposed to do that? So that's like, we found different companies that are made in the US and they allow us to just buy like 20 at a time and stuff like that. So we're super grateful for them, but it's like it's like a catalog and it's very minimum, like what we can really get.
Yeah.
So our whole thing is like, if we're going down the manufacturing road in America and we want to pump out more stuff, we got to like really know what is going to sell. So it's really challenging, and it's honestly stressful and like freaky, because you're like, I'm one bad move away from losing a bunch of money on this, you know what I mean? So yeah.
So it's like the business model makes it so hard. Like people, especially conservatives, like we preach that we want American-made brands and like we want to buy America, but then it's so difficult to buy things that are made in America.
People don't really understand what that means for like a small business. Like, sorry, I don't want to get all political, but it's like Joe Biden's America. Even Trump, when he was in office, it was impossible with like taxes for small businesses to survive. You know what I mean? So
they incentivize overseas. They incentivize like foreign kind of manufacturing, which is, I mean, and also too, it's cheaper to buy from abroad. So when you buy an American brand, people have to charge more because it costs more to do. So it really is that sacrifice of putting your money where your values are and deciding where you want your money to go. And do you want it to go to support an American brand, or do you want it to go overseas? So I definitely think that it's admirable that you've kind of taken this on, and especially at 22. That's insane.
I appreciate that.
That's really amazing that you have started this and that you're engaged. Your fiance is kind of like in the thick of it with you. I think that's really awesome. Good to me. She's so supportive, and it's so sweet, because we're looking at like Yakkem Apparel's. I'm super thankful it's grown and it's doing well, but it's all of my time. Like, in order to make it happen, it's like I gotta, because her and I are the only ones like filling orders and stuff like that. So it's really. She's really sacrificed a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
I think it speaks volumes that you're doing something that a lot of brands that are very well known wouldn't do. You're sticking your values out there, which automatically people are aware of that, and you know that you're gonna like face some grain with that. So you're doing something that even big brands won't do, but you're also doing American made, which a lot of brands still won't do. No matter how much they make, no matter how much profit they have, they won't go on the line to have American made products. They won't. They just want more money, and they're in it for the profit. So even if they have all of this like money to actually be able to do these things and have this kind of business model that supports our own country, they wouldn't do it anyways, because they're there to just like gain constantly. So you're doing something that like these big brands won't even do. It's such a young age. It's such a small company. Like, you started this company with these values, and I think it speaks of volumes. Like, you are going to be leading the movement and encourage other people to start businesses like this, and also like maybe encourage other brands to change their business model.
That'd be awesime. I appreciate that. Thanks for saying
I think
that. Seriously, that's really nice. Man, sometimes like I mean, I'm sure you guys do too, but we get a lot of hate on like social media and stuff like that, and it's like people don't understand how much, like, when people say stuff like you just said, it just means so much, because it's just motivating, and it gets me like, I gotta keep doing this. You know what I mean?
Me and Rachel have like gone through like we've gotten some messages, and I'll send it to Rachel and be like, wow, Rachel, I'm like, that one, honestly, like, it stung a little. And then we'll just like shake it off. We'll be like, Rachel's like, you know what? We're not those things though. And it's not true.
The difference is we're going to go to sleep at night, and I'm going to sleep just fine. Like, you can say that, but you know, I'm living with my values. I feel confident in that. And so I'm just going to go to sleep and sleep like a baby. And they're probably still going to be up on their phone, scrolling through somebody, trying to find somebody to troll.
What is up with that?
And it's just, well, it's frustrating, because the thing is, I think we as conservatives, and I'm sure you understand this as a conservative company and just in a different frame of reference, but we just need to start being okay with being misunderstood by these crazy people. I mean, you can't stand there and rebuttal everything, because it would take, I don't even know how long to even get to the root problem, because they just pivot their argument into whatever.
For years.
They have a script. They have a script that they follow. And because their script is like that, you can poke so many holes in their script. Like, I don't know. I just remember in college, you'd have to write a paper or give a speech, and you'd have to base it in fact, right? So you'd have to go back and look and actually base whatever you were talking about in fact with the truth on your side. And if your teacher could poke holes in that, or, you know, you would get a bad grade. It's like, you guys, I can pick 14,000 holes in this argument, and it's because you guys are so wishy-washy, and they're starting to catch themselves in lies now. It's a perpetual circle. So, shake off the hate. It's not worth it.
I agree 100%. And you're so right with that, because I'll get messages, and I'll be like, there's 47 things that I could talk to them about that they just said right there. That I feel are totally inaccurate. But then it's like, but literally that'll take me all day and tomorrow and the next
Is it worth the time?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
like, I'm busy. I've got stuff to do. I've got a wedding to plan. Like, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah, true. And I think that also it says a lot when you get, like, there are a lot of hate comments out there and people that want to attack you just because they're just, like, in general, people just, like, there are going to be a vast majority of people that don't want to see you succeed because they can't have that themselves, and like whatever it is, they just don't want to see you succeed, so they're going to attack you. But it's so true that when you get a message and they're just supporting you, it means so much more than 20 hate comments. I will take like one nice message over and take the 20 mean messages with it too. But that the one, I'm like, okay, if I'm making a difference in just one person's life, and I'm making one person just feel connected, then it's just worth all of the hate. I'll take that.
feel a little bit more empowered.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And it just feels really good. And also too, you got to consider the most of the people that support you too, they're not always in that frame yet where they're okay with being completely outspoken about their beliefs, because it's really scary. True. And it's empowering when you see brands do that. Or for example, like when you see different groups or influencers actually come forward and say, you know what, actually, this is what I believe, and they own it. They usually get such an influx of support, but a lot of these people, they're not prepared yet. They're not ready to share or to put that on their, they're not ready to open themselves up to it, but it's a process. And I think by seeing brands and by seeing different people just coming out and owning it, I think that inspires them at some point that they'll maybe in their journey be okay with owning it. So I think this is really important. And what you're doing, what brands like yourself are doing is super important. So with that, have you faced any adversity as far as like directly to your company from other brands or just beyond, like in the business world outside of just, you know, marketing on social media? Because obviously those people are hateful little trolls, but you know, what are some things that you guys have faced and challenges with your brand?
The only when it comes to like consumers or customers, we've had a lot of different opinions thrown at us, but when it comes to like business to business interaction or whatever, B2B, we had one manufacturer company be like, could you not say our name or like say that you work with us, just because we don't know how far you might go with your political beliefs, pretty much they were saying, like, so like just keep us out of it, but we would love to work with you still. We didn't end up working with them at all, but that was the only like business to business one we've ever had. But one of the big roadblocks that we've faced, or not really roadblocks, but like opinions that come at us a lot, is just the fact that we're a conservative brand, but we do a lot of like activewear and leggings and stuff like that. Like a lot of people sometimes don't understand where we're coming at it from with that. Like we're trying to make a modest Gymshark pretty much, where we can feel like we can give the conservative population like cool modern clothes, but still not cross that line into just objectifying like women all the time, and pretty much, you know what I mean? So like people don't understand our heart in that, so sometimes we'll get like backlash, like, really, you call yourselves a conservative brand? Like, what is, like, one of the comments we got last week was like, I wonder what a conservative brand will look like 5 years from now if this is what a conservative brand goes for these days. And it's just like, people don't really understand our hearts, I guess. Like, we take a lot of precaution in order to not make it about those things, and make clothes that we feel like are great for women to wear, you know, and not, it's modest, and it's like,
so I think that's where conservatives lose. This is where we do not pick our battles well. I also think, what would you have us work out
exactly
in?
Like, what would be, it's like,
what would we wear? What would you have us wear?
Pink works out. A hot take. So I'm sure that you guys have all seen this, but it's basically these girls that go to the gym TikTokers, and they do the stare count at the top of the screen. It's people have been reacting to them and making, especially the conservatives, because basically it's just killing what actual, like, I guess the human interaction that you would get in a gym. Like, a guy coming up and talking to a girl, like, this disheartens that movement of, like, the whole, like, how men can be gentlemen and how we actually meet people in real time, besides like just scrolling on an app. We meet people when we go to a gym. We meet people when we go out. And when these girls take videos, I'm like, when these girls take these videos and like roast this guy for merely glancing at them because they're taking off their shirt at a gym.
Also, what if he just wanted the equipment?
It's just,
what if you just wanted the thing you were using and he was trying to figure out when you're going to be done? Like,
first of all, it's so narcissistic to be like, everyone's staring at me in this gym. Second of all, it's merely a glance. And maybe this guy wanted to come up and talk to you. Like, you're in an environment with other people. You're going to have human interaction. And third, you're literally wearing like the tiniest outfit to the gym. So yeah, maybe you are going to get a few glances, and that doesn't mean that like you have to like take on this movement of being a victim. You're the one that chose to wear like spray painted tiny shorts to a gym.
Yeah. So like our whole thing has just been like, we like Rachel, you were saying like, what do you expect girls to wear? I think that was you, Rachel. But we totally agree with that. We're like, there's a time and a place for activewear. That's what we always say. And if someone's like, if a girl's in like a guy, as a guy, I run around when I play sports. I don't have a shirt on. I have tiny shorts on, honestly, like 5-inch inseam, because I hate feeling like any fabric on me. I just,
because you're hot. And also, what do you like? I go hiking all the time. What am I supposed to hike it? Like, what would you have me climb trails and like jump over rocks and like I have my dog tied to me? What would you have me explore? How would you have me do yoga? Like, you can't do yoga.
Exactly.
Like, I've been doing yoga every day. How would you have me do yoga with like baggy clothes?
You should wear sweatpants and a turtleneck and expose nothing.
It's like there's like such a fine line though, because then like we do have some kind of there's a limit, you know what I mean? There is like a level where it's like, okay, this is just crossing the line. There's no reason for it. So we have a bunch of precautions. Like when we post something, like we make sure we don't post anything that would be like challenging for a man. Like if we're going to go biblical, it's like you don't want to cause a guy to stumble or whatever. So we take all that stuff really seriously, but it's like sometimes people just come at us and they think that we're just like totally blowing by these.
My whole thing is personal accountability. You can't put, a guy's, okay, I can't control what's in your brain. I also can't control how I look to a degree. I mean, I'm out here in the world just like you are. And if you can't control and like work within your own head and your own thoughts, like personally, that's my opinion. That's on you. It's not on me to make you feel better about like, because if that's where your head's at, you're going to be thinking about it regardless of what someone's wearing. I can promise you that.
And what we get wrong in the conservative movement, like again, what Rachel said, and we're like, this is like why we rebranded too, is because we want to show people that conservatives are like not some buttoned up, like we're not like turtleneck wearing type A. Like it can be fun, and also it's 2023. Like I get it. Like we have our values and we're very strong in that. But also it's different. Like we're not the way the world wants to see us, and I think that's where they cause like the left has a problem with us, because they're like, oh, they see what you're doing now and they're like, that's not conservative because conservatives should look like this. But I'm like, but you're not even a conservative, so how would you know? Or it's like,
how would you know? It's like,
or the extreme ends of conservative people that are like, no, you have to be this way. You don't have to be a certain way. Like it doesn't matter like exactly what it looks like, but it's like the values that you are you upholding your values. And if I can look at what I'm doing and say I can uphold my values and still do this, two things can be true at once, then I don't understand. There can't be an argument. But people do push on it because they expect it to look a certain way. But also, you're right. Like things have changed, and also I think that the conservative movement has to change a little bit too. As it's 2023 and things change and grow.
We have to welcome in people too that don't 100%.
I know what you're saying.
I don't understand where this comes from, where people feel that they need to have 100% agreement with everything that someone says. Or if you don't agree with, so I follow a lot of kind of conservative content creators type people, right? Sometimes they post something and I'm like,
right.
I
agree 100%.
Wholeheartedly agree with that. But I still support you because I think that you get it right more than you get it wrong. And we're also allowed to have
free thinking.
A few different beliefs. And conservatives, and especially sometimes I find the older generations or the younger generations who've kind of just bought into this whole, because we see it on the left, but I don't think that's something we should be mimicking on the right, especially at this time too, where we're just seeing the left take so much liberty in what they're doing, and they're just pushing boundaries farther than I think anyone even thought possible. We need to welcome in those people who are like, okay, that's not working, that's not going well. We need these people. We need that middle ground.
Exactly.
Pull them in, get them engaged, and they can support, for example, a conservative brand and not necessarily share the same faith as that brand. You can support a conservative brand and share the faith, but maybe you don't agree with that one post that they liked. Who cares? I don't understand why this has to be an all or nothing approach. Agree to disagree, find your common ground, and get in there, because conservatives, that's where we lose. I'm telling you, we get way too caught up in what everybody else is doing, and we don't welcome people in, and we're not we just got to be a little bit more open-minded. And like Peyton said, with our rebrand, I mean, we sometimes get comments and stuff or notes that are like, thank you so much, because I just thought I was out here alone. We like fashion. We like getting dressed up. We like going places. Like, we love supporting conservative brands. It's fine. All is well.
Oh, thank you.
I love what you guys are doing, and I think it's really inspirational. But
So, what is your best business advice? Starting as you started a business at 18, and like you faced going through COVID and a pandemic, and I'm sure that's hard, especially like we know how it affected the world. Imagine that being on a small business. So going through all of that, what is your best business advice?
Oh man, I would say that you have to pick a niche or a niche, whatever you want to call it, and double down on it. Honestly, I feel like that was the best thing. A lot of people would say from a business perspective, like, that was stupid of us to go so conservative and just be all out there with all of our views. But I think in the long run, it eliminated half the population, or however how much you think actually isn't conservative. But it eliminated that half, but then the other half is like diehard, I feel like. So you got that extra support, and I think that really like connected with people's hearts a lot. So it helped our sales so much. So I would say, like, find a thing that's lacking, like something that's needed, and then double down on what you want to, your niche or whatever you want to call it, and then go with it from there. I think that's been the number one thing that's helped us. So I feel like that's incredible, because it is so true that when you do niche down, it's about community, and conservative people, we tend to have just a very strong community, especially with our brands. I think it's also a limited market. Not a lot of markets are saturated with our values. So when we find something that has our values and that's in this space, we do tend to promote that and stick with it and share it with our friends, versus like all of the other conservative workout brands, like how there's unlimited workout brands that don't share their values, or they're not the same. And so that market's like huge. Like, I could shop anywhere, but also conservative brands, there's not a whole lot of places that you can shop. So when you find one, that's something we get a lot too, is like people will message us and be like, do you know any other company that does anything else like this? And most of the time we're like, no one. Like, do you know anyone that makes jeans or something? Still say anything. And I'll be like, no, not really. And that's sad. I'm like, we need innovators who can fill these needs, these holes in the I don't know, the marketplace. It's sad, but I'm always trying to promote people to be innovation, and we need conservative innovation too, because there's none of it. Like, you look around and it's just all left-wing people, that these companies that blow up pretty much. I don't know. There's a lot to be said for that, but like, we need the conservative people to start thinking and creating and being innovators. Like, if America could bring that back again, and we had companies, like, it's sad, it's depressing almost when you look in the U.S. marketplace, and there's like no conservative, like-minded companies. Like, it's crazy. It's like, even in any niche or whatever, there's just like, even I think CVS might be, but like they don't really follow through with that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy. It blows my mind. But like, if we could have young people like you guys, like me, who are thinking of new things, like even in the AI or computer technology area, the field. Like if we could get some smart people, some smart conservatives, we could really start changing things around and keep the money in good hands. You know what I mean? And that's should be encouraged. But.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. And I kind of like what you said about, you know, conservatives reaching out to you, because I've definitely done that with different brands that I know are conservative to a degree, because I'm like, look, I would love to, I'd much rather spend my money. I feel like conservatives are so dedicated when they find a brand that they support. So yeah, I think that's awesome. So what are your plans for this year? Do you have anything exciting in 2023 that you want to share about Yakkem, or anything in particular?
We have a lot of you know what? To go back to to another business, what was it? Good advice or whatever, I think was the last guy. It kind of leads into this, but influencers, like go after people who in your niche who support what you support and get them on your team. Like you were saying, Peyton, earlier, like the community is really, I think it was Peyton, you were saying like the conservative community is really close and tight. We found like micro, then we went to like macro influencers, and we just kind of started trying to land them supporting our company. And the growth that they gave us was unbelievable. And it helped us like so quickly. We were growing because of these people, getting them on our team. So if I were to encourage like another business of any kind, like especially on social media, try to land those influencers. Like they help you so much. But anyways, in the future, we're landing like 3 or 4 really bigger named influencers that I think we're gonna fly out and like shoot videos with them and stuff, which will be really cool and we're really excited about.
Wow, 22, own company, owning your values.
Oh my gosh,
you're killing it. No, you're killing it at really 22.
I'm like, God is good, and
seriously,
also like, honestly, this sounds cliche, but like my parents, they just make it so easy for me because all of my stuff is here in their house too. So it's like I work the whole place out of their house, pretty much, like the whole business. So they're like, I have everybody around me helps so much in every single way. I have a sister who like does graphic designing. That's amazing. So she helps with like designing stuff. My fiance now is like a photographer. My sister's a videographer. Like, so all these, God's put people around me to make me be able to succeed in this. So, and then people like you guys who are just like having me on their show, or Peyton, like you're wearing my clothes or whatever. It's just, it's so sweet. So we're thankful for that. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, we're really excited to kind of be here supporting you. I know Peyton absolutely loves you guys' stuff. And I love that you said about the community and just kind of having people around you, family, friends, and even just beyond that. I think when you're a brand like this, that's kind of just growing and starting out and trying to touch hearts and grow that community, I think it says a lot. And I will personally be buying some leggings.